boy, it's like from bad customer service to a bad corporate to a corporation run amok that has killed a woman, arguably, and taken down a hospital in a small town. It's like there's a big story here, and the big story is about giant corporations consolidating and basically sitting in marketplaces in ways that distort the marketplaces so badly that there's no longer a free market in pretty much anything in the United States. It's really, really amazing. Gus in Deerfield, Illinois. Hey, Gus, you wanted to weigh in on this.
Good afternoon, Tom.
Hey.
I just want to touch on, I've been listening to you guys for such a long time, and the issues keep coming up and they keep going. And one of the things that is never touched upon, or maybe I just didn't hear it, is what is at the heart of all the issues that we have going on, and that is corruption and greed.
Yeah.
And yet nobody seems to address the real issue, corruption and greed. If we could eliminate and I know it's hard to do, but if we could eliminate it, most of these issues would go away.
Well, you eliminate the corruption and you put power back in the hands of the people by taking money out of politics. And, we sort of succeeded in doing this after the Nixon corruption was so broadly exposed in 73 and 74 and the church committee hearings with the campaign finance reforms of 74. And then in 76 and 77, a lot of those got knocked down by the Supreme Court in the Buckley case and the First National Bank case. And then, Citizens United and McCutcheon more recently knocked down more of those protections against the influence of big corporate money and billionaire money in our political process. And I would argue that that the Supreme Court has corrupted our system. It has designed a system that is easily corrupted. In fact, in some industries, like the defense industry, for example, and the private prison industry, the best investment you can make right now is not in a new facility, it's not in a new building, it's not in hiring new people, it's not in advertising. The best investment you can make in terms of return on investment is by buying a member of Congress or multiple members of Congress. Gus, thanks for the call. Let me give you some examples of this. We're supposed to have, remember immigration reform? It passed the Senate, and it was going to the House, and John Boehner has blocked it in the House. Oh, we're not going to have any immigration reform. So when this thing became a possibility, two companies, Corrections Corporation of America and GEO Group, according to an article published on Alternet by Peter Cervantes Gauci, you can see this over at alternet.org. This reporter, Peter Gauci, just basically lays this stuff out and he says, Corrections Corporation of America, CCA, and GEO Group, GEO, waged a sophisticated lobbying effort that helped kill the path to legal status for over 11 million undocumented people in 2013. They also succeeded in securing increased congressional funding to incarcerate those same people in for-profit prisons. These two corporations control, according to this reporter, 80% of the private prison beds, nearly 80% of the private prison beds in the U.S., and they're paid for with government money. We are paying $3 billion a year to these companies for this. Public funding, private profit. CCA and GEO control half of the 34,000 immigrant detention beds in this country and most of the criminal alien requirement prisons, the CAR prisons, the CAR prisons. Last fall, an effort in the House of Representatives to do away with the requirement, and this is mind-boggling, there is a requirement in law that if GEO Group or CCA build a prison, that the government provide them with enough prisoners that they have a 90% occupancy rate continuously, including immigrants, illegal immigrants. Last fall, he writes, an effort in the House of Representatives to do away with the requirement that the government provide enough prisoners to keep GEO and CCA prisons above 90% capacity was undermined and ultimately defeated by Republicans. And then they talk about this so-called, this most recent immigration reform. It turns out that this most recent immigration reform, while it would provide a path to citizenship for about 7 million of the 11 million people who are in this country without documentation, it would also provide a path, I'm quoting from his article, a path to prison for at least 4.5 million undocumented immigrants. Now, how did that happen? Well, he lays it out. In 2013, these two prison companies divided their key tasks. CCA's lobbying strategy focused on influencing the leadership bodies in both houses, the House and the Senate, lavishly funding the majority Democrats in the Senate and the majority Republicans in the House, Meanwhile, Geo Group set out to undermine the lobbying efforts of pro-immigrant advocacies. They did this by concentrating their influence on two Tea Party-approved Latinos who had no family connections to deportable people. And that was Raul Labrador in the House, Idaho representative, and Marco Rubio in the Senate. And got them to say, oh, yeah, we're in favor of immigration reform. Here's our plan. And it turns out that this plan is going to provide roughly 4.5 million undocumented immigrants with a path to a prison bed that Geo Group and CCA will make lots and lots of money on. They're already getting $3 billion of our money every year, according to this reporting. CCA and Geo Group spent $2.95 million lobbying Congress in 2012 and 2013. The gang of 8 senators who worked out the deal, they gave over $400,000 of that. More than half of it went to just 2 senators who were the public faces of this immigration reform bill that provides a path to prison for 4.5 million immigrants, Chuck Schumer and Marco Rubio. Democrat or Republican. This corruption that has been made possible, that was legalized by the United States Supreme Court in a series of decisions from 1976 up until most recently the McCutcheon case. This corruption of our Congress by these corporations is a crime against democracy, small d democracy. It's a crime against any kind of functioning political system in our country. It's the reason why we have so many prisoners. We're 5% of the population of the planet we've got, or 4% of the world's population. We have 25% of the world's prisoners. We have more prisoners in America than China does. And they're 1 billion people. We have more prisoners than India with 1 billion people. We have more prisoners than North Korea does, and they're a prison state. Even on a per capita basis, we have more prisoners than North Korea. Why? Because somebody can make a buck off it.
You're listening to the Thom Hartmann Program. Call 866-987-THOM.
It's time for us to start breaking up these big corporations, to stop the lobbying round, revolving door, put an end to this stuff.